Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? The rise of inflation is not because of the continuing printing of money and the spending of trillions of dollars by this government. Oh no, no. The real reason behind inflation is, get this, the supply chains, the invasion of Ukraine, and the pandemic. Yeah, who knew? Did you know? I had no clue. So there's absolutely zero proof, zero, that inflation had anything to do with the broken supply chain as suggested. But this was after gas prices skyrocketed to new highs and today are still much higher than when 46 was selected.
And I also want to remind you what caused inflation. We know that inflation was caused by supply chains that broke down because of the pandemic, Russia's war on Ukraine. We know that caused oil prices to skyrocket. Our economy was disrupted by so many ways because of the pandemic. That's what caused inflation. And so because the president took action very early on in his presidency to make sure that Americans got vaccinations and to make sure that we fixed and strengthened the supply chain, he took historic actions on oil so that gas prices could go down. And so we have an unprecedented economic recovery here that is important to note. But I do want to be really, really clear. We have seen inflation go down by 2/3 from its peak.
Now, the claim that he did something about oil to reduce gas prices is false. Gas prices have been consistently up under this guy. But I know a guy who was able to keep the gas prices down. You know the guy.
How much longer will it be for Americans to then bring down oil prices?
So look, because the president's unprecedented actions that he took as it relates to the oil, we saw gas prices go down, which is important at the tank to Americans across the country. And that was something that the president took really seriously because he knew what Americans were dealing with. He wanted to give them a little bit of a breathing room. And we have to also, you're a data guy, you pay attention to the data. The fact that it went down 2/3 matters. And so what the president's going to continue to do is making sure that we lower cost, right? That is the number one part of his economic plan, to continue to lower costs for Americans. And we're going to continue to do that.
But the prices at the pump say otherwise. They are, on average, 44% higher since this guy was installed. The inconsistencies, they continued with this one. KJP. While she was discussing, of all things, TikTok, yes, she talked about the app being a liability for data privacy, while everyone in that administration uses the app. Yes, they do, and they cannot deny it either. No.
Services put Americans' data at risk. You heard the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, speak to this on Tuesday. It is important for us to have an understanding, right, where this American data is going. Do they live here or do they live in China, for example? He said that, right? Is their ownership here or is it in China, for example?
All right here is blah, 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 blah. You hear it in the kitchen as well. See, it's Pepper. She's blah, 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 blah. Okay. Even she's on to their game. Well, that's all. I have nothing else. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.